Hello friends, this is Professor Roshni Udwani from Bansanga Anadila College. I'll be guiding you on the topic of integrated accounting system. I hope you have seen my earlier video where I have given you the basic idea that what is integrated system and what all ledger accounts will be opening it for solving the sums. But before we take a step forward and solve the sums based on it, I would like to make journal entries very clear to you so that it would be very smooth for you to solve the sums based on it. This topic covers 15 marks for you. If it is clearly understood, it will be very easy for you to solve. So let us understand this chart, which is the crux of understanding your journal entry. First, you need to understand that all material related transactions would be recorded under your stores ledger control account. Wages, it's an expense, it would be recorded under wage control account. All your factory related expenses would be recorded under factory overhead control, which we also call it as production overhead control account. Work is in progress, work is going on. Once it is started, all those expenses would be recorded in WIP account. If it is related to your office expenses, it would be recorded under admin overhead control account. Once the product is ready, it would be transferred to your finished goods account. From the finished goods, now it is ready for the purpose of sales. So directly we cannot record the sales, we need to take the cost of it first. So cost of goods sold account will record the goods sold, how much was the cost of the goods sold. Then it would be transferred to your cost of sales account. And also there is one more type of an expense, that is all expenses related to sales would be recorded through selling and distribution overhead control account. Now how this chart is going to help you guys? It will help you at the end when you are transferring it to the separate account. From the material, that is from the stores ledger, at the end it would be transferred to WIP, work is in progress. From the production overhead from the factory, again it would be transferred to WIP because factory में जो भी काम चालू है that is in process work, so it would be transferred to WIP. WIP में एक बार काम खत्म हो गया, that means it would be related to finished goods. My product would be ready. When it is ready, I need to transfer it to COGS, cost of goods sold. इसमें से कौन से अकाउंट में जाएगा? Cost of sales में. And apart from this, two more expenses are there. Admin expenses, office related expenses किधर जाता है? Finished goods, cost sheet also. You can remember your cost sheet also. Then sales, selling and distribution expenses get transferred where? To cost of sales. Now why I have written wage control separately? Because wages would be of two types, direct wages and indirect wages. Under integrated system, we need to bifurcate whether my wages which is paid is direct or indirect. If it is direct, that means I am talking in terms of WIP, work is in process, directly related to production. If it is indirect, that means I am talking in terms related to indirect, that means factory. Okay, so please remember this chart, it's going to help you in understanding further entries. First transaction, credit purchase of material. Now friends, in exam directly you have to write only journal entries of integrated system. Okay, but here for the purpose of understanding, I'll be first explaining that how this transaction would be recorded under financial book, how this would have been recorded under cost book, and the combination of these two is what is integrated system. So how it would be recorded under integrated book. You have to concentrate and remember the entries under integrated book. इंटीग्रेटेड सिस्टम में जो भी बुक में एंट्रीज रिकॉर्ड होती है वो एंट्रीज आपको याद रखना है टू सॉल्व द सम्स एंड गेट 15 मार्क्स. But for the explanation purpose, I'll be explaining you how this would have been recorded in financial, how this would have been recorded in cost, and then I'll take you that how it would be reflecting in my integrated books. Okay. One more thing you need to remember for solving journal entries, financial transaction. There are certain financial transactions which are not recorded in cost sheet also, cost book. Okay, so all those transactions which we don't record, it gets transferred to a separate account which we call it as cost ledger control account, or we call it as general ledger control account. Cost ledger या general ledger account बोलो, this is the only account which is prepared under cost book. Please remember, this account is prepared under cost book. And what all items get transferred? Whatever is related to personal and real transactions get transferred to your cost ledger control account. Let's start. First one, credit purchase of material. If suppose आपने purchase किया है कुछ भी goods on the basis of credit, financial book में entry क्या आता है? Debit what comes in material, but here it is goods, so I'll be writing purchase. Credit, is my cash going out? No, credit the supplier who is supplying it. So my journal entry for financial book would be purchase account debit to creditor account. Simple. Now same thing if I have to record on the cost book, how it would be recorded. What am I purchasing? Cost book is very specific, it bifurcates. So I'm purchasing what? Material. Material transaction, where it is recorded? It is recorded under stores. To creditor, creditor becomes personal. Do we record personal transactions under cost book? Yes, but it is recorded through cost ledger control account. So my journal entry would be stores ledger control account debit to cost ledger control account. Clear? Purchase क्या किया? Material, debit what comes in, material is coming in, so material नहीं लिखेंगे, उसके जगह पे लिखेंगे stores ledger. Credit में creditor नाम है, that we are not going to write. Instead of name, it gets transferred to which account? Cost ledger control account. Now integrated would be very simple, combination of this two. Purchase account, are we going to write? No. Purchase क्या किया है? Material, so stores ledger control लिखेंगे. To cost ledger लिखेंगे? No. Under integrated system we write it directly to creditor. Under integrated system, I repeat, we don't write cost ledger control account. This is the difference and this is the confusion part also. At the end पूरा topic समझने के बाद भी many students commit this mistake. So cost ledger control account is prepared only and only under cost book. Cost ledger control account is not prepared under integrated system. Okay, let's move on to the next transaction, cash purchase of material. If you're purchasing material on the basis of cash, financial book में कैसे record होगा? Purchase account debit to cash is going on, so to cash account. Correct. Now how this same transaction would be recorded under cost book? What you're purchasing? Material. So material is coming in. Instead of material, stores ledger. Great. So to cash. Cash के जगह पे cash is my real. Real can be record? No. Separate account है, that is cost ledger control. So my entry would be stores ledger control account debit to cost ledger control account. Combination of these two would be recorded under integrated system. So under integrated it would be recorded as stores ledger control account debit to cash account. Cost की जगह पे cash लिखेंगे. Third transaction, purchase of material for a specific job. Now here you need to be very careful. You are purchasing what? Material. For what? For a specific job. Does it make difference under financial book? आप material purchase करो कोई भी purpose के लिए? No. Because under financial book we just record monetary transaction, we don't see interdepartmental transfer and all. आपने material खरीदा है, पैसा जा रहा है, record होगा. So material purchase किया है. Entry purchase account debit to cash. It could be on cash, it could be on credit, so to creditor भी आ सकता है. Purchase account debit to creditor account or to cash account. This is my financial book. But cost book is very specific. There we record the transaction very specifying it. Here you are purchasing material, but for what? It is for a specified job. अब तक सिर्फ material purchase का दो transaction देखा. Now here it is purchase of material for specified job. So there is an importance, please understand the sentence. Specified job मतलब कुछ purpose के लिए specific है. So it would be WIP control account debit to what? To cost ledger control account. मटीरियल तो परचेज किया, स्टोर्स में जाना चाहिए, बट मटीरियल के बाद क्या बोला है? स्पेसिफाइड जॉब. इफ देर इज अ वर्ड नेम्ड एज स्पेसिफाइड जॉब, देन स्टोर्स में मत डालो. इट विल बी ट्रांसफर टू WIP लेजर कंट्रोल अकाउंट, एंड टू कैश और क्रेडिट की जगह पे हम क्या लिखते हैं? टू कॉस्ट लेजर कंट्रोल अकाउंट. द कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ दिस एंट्री वुड बी WIP कंट्रोल अकाउंट डेबिट टू क्रेडिटर और कैश अकाउंट. दोनों का कॉम्बिनेशन करते हैं. दैट इज डेबिट एंट्री वी आर टेकिंग इट फ्रॉम कॉस्ट बुक एंड क्रेडिट वी आर टेकिंग इट फ्रॉम फाइनेंशियल बुक. एंड देयर इज नो हार्ड एंड फास्ट रूल कि डेबिट इधर का ही होगा, क्रेडिट उधर का है. प्लीज़ ऐसा अजम्पशंस मत करो. इट्स अ कॉम्बिनेशन एंट्री, बट कॉस्ट लेजर के जगह पे डायरेक्टली वी कैन राइट क्रेडिटर. परचेज के जगह पे हियर वी हैव टू राइट मटीरियल, बट मटीरियल के जगह पे वी राइट स्टोर्स. हियर वी आर नॉट राइटिंग स्टोर्स बिकॉज इट हैज़ बीन मेंशन इट इज़ फॉर अ स्पेसिफिक जॉब, सो इट वुड बी WIP. मटीरियल के बाद का वर्ड बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. फर्स्ट वी हैव सीन ओनली परचेज ऑफ मटीरियल, सेकेंड वी सॉ परचेज ऑफ मटीरियल फॉर अ specified job, then it is WIP. The third we are seeing purchase of material for what? Repair. Again it's going to change, but will it make any difference in the financial book? No difference. Whether it is material purchase for repair, or material purchase for the specified job, there will be no difference in the financial book. Financial book का entry same है, purchase किया है, purchase account debit to cash or to creditor account. बट अंडर कॉस्ट बुक इट इज़ रियली वेरी स्पेसिफिक. आपने किस लिए परचेज किया है मटेरियल? रिपेयर के लिए. रिपेयर कहाँ होता है? फैक्ट्री. सो इट वुड बी फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड कंट्रोल अकाउंट, और वी कॉल इट एज वेजेस, सॉरी वर्क ओवरहेड कंट्रोल अकाउंट. टू what? Cash and credit transactions are recorded through cost ledger control account. Combination of these two would be my integrated system. So work overhead control account debit to cash or creditor account. Clear? Next, material written. Now it's a written, that means revise your entry, your revision of your first entry, reverse it because it's a written. आपने मटीरियल जो परचेज किया था क्रेडिटर से अब रिटर्न कर रहे हैं. सो माई जर्नल एंट्री अंडर FA बुक वुड बी मटीरियल इज रिटन इज गोइंग आउट, सो इट वुड बी क्रेडिटेड. परचेज रिटर्न बुक में डेबिट का क्या होगा? क्रेडिटर. सो क्रेडिटर अकाउंट डेबिट टू परचेज रिटर्न अकाउंट. हाउ दिस वुड बी रिकॉर्डेड अंडर कॉस्ट बुक? क्रेडिटर लिखते हैं कहाँ पे? कॉस्ट लेजर में. ओके, सो कॉस्ट लेजर कंट्रोल अकाउंट वुड बी डेबिटेड. टू परचेज की जगह पे हम क्या लिखेंगे? मटीरियल की जगह पे क्या लिखेंगे? स्टोर्स लेजर. सो कॉस्ट लेजर कंट्रोल अकाउंट डेबिट टू स्टोर्स लेजर कंट्रोल अकाउंट वुड बी माई एंट्री अंडर कॉस्ट बुक. Combination of these two now. Now cost ledger control account, do we debit under integrated? No, that cannot be debited. So what am I going to get? Debit creditor account. Creditor account debit to stores ledger control account. That is why I said don't assume and by heart इसका डेबिट लिया उसका क्रेडिट लिया. आपको थोड़ा ब्रेन्स यूज़ करना है. कॉस्ट लेजर हम रिकॉर्ड नहीं करते हैं अंडर इंटीग्रेटेड में. सो इंस्टेड ऑफ कॉस्ट लेजर इट इज़ क्रेडिटर अकाउंट टू स्टोर्स लेजर कंट्रोल अकाउंट. नेक्स्ट, पेमेंट टू क्रेडिटर्स. व्हेन अमाउंट इज पेड अंडर फाइनेंशियल बुक, मनी इज गोइंग आउट. फॉर whom? To it is paid to creditors. So creditor account debit to cash account. The same thing if I want to record under cost accounting. Under cost accounting book, creditors कहाँ पे record होता है? Creditors account is recorded under cost ledger control, and cash is also recorded under cost ledger. So both is getting recorded under cost ledger. Cost ledger to cost ledger, there cannot be such entry. So under cost accounting there would be no entry. So for integrated it would be very simple. Same entry of financial book would be my integrated entry. Next, issue of direct material for production. डायरेक्ट मटेरियल इशू किया है, डायरेक्ट मटेरियल बाहर जा रहा है. फॉर व्हाट? फॉर प्रोडक्शन पर्पस के लिए. सो डोंट यू थिंक इट्स इंटर डिपार्टमेंटल रिलेटेड? मटेरियल इज गोइंग आउट फॉर work, that is for production. Will there be an entry under financial book? Financial book records only monetary related transaction. Interdepartment, allocation, transfer, these entries are not recorded in financial book, so there would be no entry. But what about the cost? Cost book में record होगा. Material is issued, so material is going out. Instead of material we write stores ledger, so stores ledger would be credited. It is going out for what? Production, that means WIP, so my entry would be WIP ledger control account debit to stores ledger control account. Now under integrated it is a combination, so financial book there is no entry, same cost accounting entry would be my integrated system entry. Next transaction, issue of indirect. There it was direct. When it is direct, it was WIP. When it is indirect, it would be factory. Will there be a transaction under financial book? Think. Material, indirect material issued for what? Same production purpose के लिए issue किया है. No, it's a interdepartmental related, so no entry. But under cost book, material has been issued, so material is going out, credit for what? For production. Now what type of material? Indirect material, so it would be work overhead control account debit to stores ledger control account. Remember earlier entry? It was same, but only thing it was direct, so WIP was debited. Here it is indirect, so factory overhead, or you can say work overhead control account would be debited. Combination of these two would be my integrated entry. Return of direct material to stores. Return, you have written your material to the stores, same entry, now revision of it रिवर्स करना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज हम लोग रिटर्न कर रहे हैं डायरेक्ट मटेरियल जो हमने इशू किया था. नाउ इट इज़ रिटर्न बैक टू द स्टोर्स. फ्रॉम द स्टोर्स इट वाज गोइंग आउट, सो स्टोर्स लेजर वाज क्रेडिटेड. नाउ इट इज़ रिटर्न बैक टू स्टोर्स, तो स्टोर्स में आ रहा है, स्टोर्स वुड बी डेबिटेड. व्हाट अबाउट फाइनेंशियल? देयर वुड बी नो एंट्री बिकॉज इंटर डिपार्टमेंट है. कॉस्ट में मटीरियल आ रहा है, सो स्टोर्स लेजर कंट्रोल अकाउंट वुड बी डेबिटेड एंड इट इज डायरेक्ट मटीरियल, सो क्रेडिट क्या होगा? टू WIP लेजर कंट्रोल अकाउंट वुड बी credited. Combination of these two is my integrated. As FP there is no entry, that is financial book में no entry, so under cost accounting book whatever entry is there same would be my integrated entry. Next transaction, return of indirect material to store. पहले डायरेक्ट मटेरियल परचेज किया, इनडायरेक्ट मटेरियल परचेज किया, परचेज इन द सेंस इंटर डिपार्टमेंटल, एंड देन नाउ इट इज रिटर्न बैक. Again it is from indirect material to store, interdepartment, financial book, no entry. But for cost accounting, material is coming in or going out. Return of indirect material to stores. To store, that means store में आ रहा है. So debit what comes in, stores ledger control account would be debited to. From where it is going out? It is going out from indirect material, that is to factory, or you can call it as production, or you can call it as work overhead control account. To production overhead control account, to work overhead control account, to factory overhead control account, all are one and the same. So integrated combination entry of this two. Financial book no entry, so under cost accounting it would be same, stores ledger control account to work overhead control account. Next transaction, payment of wages. When wages is paid under cost book, under financial book, how it would be recorded? Money is going out, wages is my expense, so wages account debit to cash account. How it would be recorded under cost accounting book? Under cost accounting book it would be recorded as wages control account debit to, instead of cash we write it as cost ledger control account. So instead of cash it would be recorded as cost ledger control account. Combination of these two would be my integrated entry, which is wage control account debit to, instead of cost we will again get back to cash. Allocation. Now allocation, here it is very important that we bifurcate that the wages which is paid, how much is the direct wage and how much is the indirect wages. But under financial account we don't bifurcate. Wages paid hai ki received hai, we just check that. Paid hai the cash is going out. So under financial entry for allocation and distribution, again there would be no entry. But for cost, if it is direct, then it would be recorded through work in progress. If it is indirect, then it would be recorded through factory, or what we call it as work overhead. Both becomes an expense, so expenses are debited. WIP control account if it is direct. If it is indirect, work overhead control account debit to wage control account. It's just an allocation, neither money is coming out nor it's going out. wages को सिर्फ डिवाइड कर रहे हैं, टोटल wages जो पे किया था उसमें से कितना डायरेक्ट है और कितना इनडायरेक्ट है. Always remember, in each and every sum there would be a transaction related to wages paid, and immediately there would be allocation part also, because we need to close that account of wage control. So wages कितना पे किया, total जितना पे किया उसमें से direct कितना है और indirect कितना है, this entry is going to be there. You can pass combined entry or you can separate it and pass direct है, so WIP ledger control account to wage control, indirect work overhead control to wage control. Combination entry would be the same because financial book में there is no entry. Now very fast I'll take you with the remaining, because I hope the basic is very clear to you, so it would be easy. Now don't see the entire slide, try to think first and then answer it. Payment of expenses. If expense is paid, how it would be recorded under financial? Expense, all expenses are debited. 2. Paid, so money is going out. Expense account debit to cash account. But under cost book it is very specific that expenses for what purpose, whether it is related to factory, it is related to office, or it is related to selling and distribution. So all three expenses would be debited. Related if it is factory, so work overhead control. Office है, so admin related, admin overhead control. If it is sales, then selling and distribution overhead control account debit. 2. Can we write cash under cost? No, cash, that becomes your real. It would be written under cost ledger control account. Now combination of these two would be your integrated entry. Work overhead control account debit 2. Cost नहीं लिखोगे, under integrated we'll write cash. Depreciation entry. When depreciation is charged, depreciation is your loss. All losses are debited. Under financial book entry would be depreciation account debit to asset account. Remember, depreciation is non-cash item, so money is not going out. Please don't take it cash is going out. It is charged on an asset. So depreciation account debit to asset account, Under cost accounting, how this would be recorded? Now depreciation, again we have to be specific whether it is related to those assets which are related to factory, office or sales. Accordingly, work overhead control account debit, admin overhead account debit, or selling and distribution control account debit 2. Instead of cash, it would be cost ledger control account. Combination of these two would be taken under my integrated, that is work overhead would be debited to, instead of cash it would be an asset account which would be credited. Next transaction, that is recovery of work overhead predetermined rate. Now whether it is a recovery allocation part, there would be no entry for financial book, but for the cost accounting book, work overhead, remember the chart, work overhead, that is production overhead, the balance of production overhead gets transferred to WIP. So it is getting transferred to where? To WIP. WIP control account would be debited, and from where it is going out, it is going from work overhead. Work overhead would be credited. Combination of these two would be my integrated entry. Next, finished goods. Again you have to remember your chart. From stores it gets transferred to WIP. From WIP it gets transferred to finished goods. So WIP से transfer हो रहा है finished goods में, WIP से जा रहा है, जो चीज़ जा रहा है, so WIP would be credited. कहाँ जा रहा है, that would be debited. Finished goods control account would be debited, to WIP control account would be credited. This is for your cost. Under financial, this is not going to affect because it is interdepartmental. Allocation entry नहीं होता है FA में, interdepartmental नहीं होता है, transfer entry नहीं होता है under financial book. So what would be my integrated same entry as it is recorded under cost book. Next, cost of goods sold. Now cost of goods sold and cost of sales both are different. Under cost of goods sold we record goods which are sold, but the cost price of it is recorded. Under cost of sales, again it records your goods sold but the selling price of it. Financial book, will there be an entry for cost of goods sold? No, we don't record the cost part. So under financial book there would be no entry. But under cost accounting book, remember again the chart part, cost of goods sold gets transferred to cost of sales. So cost of goods sold gets transferred to cost of sales, but from where it is getting transferred? From finished goods. From finished goods it's getting transferred. Finished goods से जा रहा है, so finished goods would be credited. Where it is getting transferred? To cost of sales. So cost of goods sold would be debited. Cost of sales account debit to finished goods account, and the combination of that would be your integrated. Then the next line which I have given the journal entry, don't get confused, it is just for the closure purpose to remember. At the end you have to close your cost of sales account by transferring the balance to costing P&L account. Okay, next is sales. Under financial book, how the sales would be recorded when you are selling your goods on the basis of credit. Debtor account gets debited, debtor account debit to sales account. Debit the receiver and credit is your income part, that is sales. Okay. Under cost accounting book, how this would be recorded? Debtor, that is personal. Personal gets transferred to cost ledger. So cost ledger control account would be debited to sales. Sales की जगह पे what we write? Cost of sales. Combination of these two would be my integrated entry. Cost ledger control account can be debit? No. Under integrated we cannot write cost ledger because this account is not prepared in the integrated system. So instead of cost ledger it would be debtor account. Debtor account debit to cost of sales account. Now last two transactions which is remaining for you. Allocation of admin overhead. Allocation of admin overhead, it is just an allocation part again. So there would be no entry for financial book. Under cost accounting book, allocate करो admin का expense किधर जाता है. Again remember the cost sheet or the chart which I have just introduced at the beginning of my PPT. Admin overhead gets transferred to which account? It gets transferred to finished goods. So finished goods account debit to, it's going out from where? It's going from admin. Admin overhead would be credited. From which account it goes? It would be credited. To which account it is transferred? Gets debited. Okay. Combination of these two would be my integrated entry. Last, selling and distribution. Again selling and distribution is transferred to cost of sales. To which account? Cost of sales, so it would be debited. From where it is going? Selling and distribution, so it would be credited. Now as this two is the transfer entry, this will not be recorded in your financial book, so combination of this would be my integrated. That means cost account entry itself would be my integrated entry. I hope friends now these entries are very clear to you. If you're finding it difficult, just go through once again, and even then if you are not able to understand, then I'm always there for you friends to help you and guide you if you're finding it difficult. Thanks for watching and for your patience.